Hey there, Thea Elijah here. And when I say here, I'm going to take an extra moment to find out what that means and what that feels like. So, all right. I am here to speak right now about the healing of our attention. And let me tell you, coming into a Facebook Live, it's like immediately dropping into a gigantic stadium because I'm feeling you. I'm feeling being watched. I'm feeling being paid attention to. And so immediately there is a series of biological choices that I have to make in the presence of that attention. The first thing that I am doing is checking my balance 50-50 between self-assess and field assess. These are whole heart connection terms that may not be familiar unless you take a whole heart connection intro. What they basically mean is, in health, we are 50% of any situation that we're in. Not more, not less. So self-assess, you can do this with me, is checking, how am I? Do I even know? Is 50% of my attention here so that I'm in touch with myself, with my inner world, with my intuitive promptings, with my gut telling me this or that, with my heart moving in this way or that. 50% is my attention right here at home, so I know who I am, how I am, and how I am responding. The other 50% is what in whole heart connection we call field assessment. That sense of being with everything that is outside of my skin, that I can feel. It's much more understandable when we are in a group of people who are pausing to wait to say happy birthday to someone who's about to walk in, or a group of people who are masked and muffled and waiting in a waiting room at a dental office. The vibe, the feeling in the air is different. And we, like any other mammal, sense what's going on around here. Some of it is directly sensory through the eyes, through the ears, through the nose, and some of it is through the nervous system, just feeling. Even though technically I am alone in a room right now, just me and my rubber chicken, oh, am I feeling you guys? It's an extraordinary experience. And one of the things that can easily happen is that I could lose my 50% of anchoring my attention in my own body. Now, another thing that could happen that's not any better, it's just different. Let me see if I can demo it, is I can just get so into being me and feeling what I feel and putting that across to you that I'm actually not talking to you anymore. Let me see if I can do it. Like just kind of being in a performance mode, like I'm the Thea Elijah show and I'm in touch with myself, but I'm not in touch with you. That doesn't feel right to me. Doesn't feel like a handshake. So I'm back, actually open to feeling the invisible hearts, the invisible connections, while also feeling myself. So we're talking about health as 50-50. Self-assess is my attention with me. 50% field assess. Is my attention with you? And am I in the place inside of me where I'm able to be with both? The healing of our attention, I say, is a very, very important issue right now. Part of it is spending so much time on technology, connecting through phones, connecting through computers, connecting through Zoom and Facebook right now, that we get a case of blue light-itis. We get a little transfixed on the screen and sucked out. And our attention is held out here, and then it's exhausted. I don't want to imitate that anymore, but I think you get what I mean. When our attention is too often pulled out of that balance of 50-50, where we are at home in here and feeling how is it out here, which includes far more than the computer screen. When we're in that balance, there's a state of rest in the body that allows our attention to become more and more intention, something that can be held steadily. And then over time, that intention, when held steadily, becomes will. By contrast, when we're attention is up and out, when we are not holding that 50-50 anchor in here, and we're just in attention, being yanked around by what's moving out here, more and more our intention is eroded. We're not gathering attention to intention, and we're just being pulled by whatever catches our attention in that moment. And this is something that I think a lot of people are aware of right now. And so in order to catch attention or hold people's attention with a population that has a certain amount of attention exhaustion, new, improved, like the lights get brighter and things get, I'm not going to imitate that. As we progress in having an attention disorder of being pulled up and out and more at the mercy of the winds, and less resiliency of intention inside of us, the next thing we know, we're on the computer looking at whatever for half an hour, or on the phone scrolling for an hour and a half, when that was not originally our intention. Let alone as the intention erodes, let alone our deeper will, such that we are able to say, this is my task right now. This is my long walk. This is what I'm doing. What I see that concerns me is that more and more people do not have the attention consolidated in intention, consolidated in deeper will, to be able to have really good conversations without kind of flittering around or getting restless. It's getting harder and harder to have substantive attention exchanged between people. And my finding also is that we're really hungering for that. We're really hungering for a listening that we can speak into, that allows us to even find what is my intention and how do I come home to my will. The quality of listening with an attention that is healthy attention is healing for both the speaker and the listener. There's actually studies on this, that very good quality listening lowers blood pressure the kind of listening that brings us from attention, fire, into the spleen, the earth, the yi, the intention, down into the je, the water, the will. To hear like that, to pay attention like that, is a healing for us. It's a very different quality of attention than riveted by danger. And that's part of what is making our lives difficult right now, is that it's winter, which is the water element, which is the time of potentiation of fear and our response to it. Does a feeling of there's something happening here, what it is ain't exactly clear. What is that doing to us? And how do we actually harness that in order to bring our attention in line with our intention, align with our will to listen deeply as a healing for ourselves, but also as a healing for each other, to receive the kind of attention that consolidates the intention and the will. It's an incredible state. Sometimes all it takes in order to figure ourselves out is someone paying attention in such a way that they are not sacrificing their inner or the outer 50-50 and holding us in that attention. And we may start off going, I don't know, da, 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 but as that paying attention is held in that healthy way, we find ourselves. This is a lot of the magic of Whole Heart Connection community, is that right from the start, we're going to have an intro in, what is it, a couple of weeks? I think it's 2 weeks from now, maybe a week and a half, because it's the middle of the week, where we begin with finding, where do I pay attention from? And even by paying attention to each other from further inside of ourselves, we find a peace and rest even in the midst of chaos that allows us to together create not what I'm going to call a think tank. It's more like a heart tank, a place where we can settle in to hear our own inner voices much more clearly, and a place to take heart in a way that we can't when our attention has been scattered outwards so wildly. So I'd like to invite you to the Whole Heart Connection intro that's coming up. You can find out about that on my website. I'm doing more and more investment in a Whole Heart Connection community because I think we really need it. We need these simple levels of healing, these simple levels of repatterning of attention, so that we can have the conversations we need to have as part of a heart level healing together, so that we can feel a whole lot better right away, and also thereby be in a position to have the conversations and make the decisions that can lead to feeling a whole lot better in the long run. Okay, with love from me and the rubber chicken. Take care.